Hey Bucks here. So today we're gonna go through and using my experience using these cards on the field, taking a look at them overall. We're gonna rank them from 32 to 1, the team diamonds that came out. Now, whether you're doing the solos now, whether you've already done them and got them for your theme team, of course, theme teams, change this ranking. So this will be non-theme teams. So let's say you're going for another team diamond, should you get it or not. I'm going to rank them from a favorite to the least favorite and so on. Let's get into it after a word from our sponsor. Rock Bottom Coins is the #1 place to get your Madden 21 coins. If you make coins for my videos, sell them to Rock Bottom. If you're buying, use my code GUTBOX for 15% off. So, let's go from the bottom. Number 32 is the most accurately made card in MUT history. Darius Hayward Bay is awful. It's like, you look at the stats, you're like, whoa, what are you talking about? 6'2"? Okay, so I'm talking all these things powered up, right? So you give him +1s for other power-ups. And I'm not, like I said, no theme team chems is what I'm adding on to rank them. Obviously, theme team chems changed a lot of this, but this card, you're like, whoa, this is like perfect. Dude, the ball went right through this guy's hands. One time for an interception. One time it just bounced off of him. And at that point, I'm like, no, you're gone, dude. I cannot deal with this card anymore. Even though, he goes in the Steelers theme team, I should love him. Biases do not have any place here, just like manners. I eat with my elbows on the table, and you can't tell me differently, Mom. So, Hayward Bay, awful. Avoid at all costs, just like NFL franchises should have. He was okay, but yeah, a little overdrafted IRL too. Okay, so now, after 32, the avoid. I hate Hayward Bay. Get him off your... Don't have him on your field. Don't buy him. Sammy Knight will be my number 31. So, Mr. Knight, what's going on with you? Why are you so bad? So, I gotta go to the next page. Sammy Knight is a strong safety that's slow, right? Now, obviously, when you have theme teams on, it gets from 97 speed. That's respectable. But this is non-theme team stuff, remember. His man coverage is only 84, so he's not going to be as flexible as a lot of other safeties out there. He only gets up to 6 speed, I guess, with power up and the sprinter. But overall, not having the great flexibility where a lot of other top end safeties and the safeties that will go through here and in the rest of the game, that they do have that kind of ability. I do not like Sammy Knight. He's not overly tall. I do like height in my secondary, which I know a lot of these guys aren't really the tallest in this program, but it's something that we're going to have to get around. We'll rank them and we'll talk about it as they come up. So Sammy Knight, a little bit slower than I like to see at that spot right now, especially considering his competition for it. A little bit behind the meta, in fact. So, number 30 will be Mr. Gruber. I feel like, is that like a Simpsons, like, what am I thinking of? Maybe I think it's something else. I don't know. But anyways, Gruber is a left tackle. And maybe I'll just show you the next card, right? This whole next, few picks, they're all going to be the offensive linemen, okay? Matt Light, I didn't even compare Matt Light to Paul Gruber. They're offensive linemen in Madden. They don't really matter. They're really cool for overall. At a certain level, you're just kind of fine. Okay? Offensive linemen. We're not going to look through stats. We're not going to waste our time on them. Get them for your theme team. Get them for your main team. It doesn't matter. They're not really worth as much as they're going for. Definitely spend that other positions first. The last positions you should upgrade in Madden are offensive linemen. Even though those guys have great, overall stats, they're offensive linemen. And you're going to get beat no matter how high their overall is. I mean, obviously, if you run 60s out there, you'll get shredded. So, it's not like worthless. But at a certain point, 1s and 2s aren't doing nothing there. Number 25 is Mr. Talley. Now, Talley is unfortunately statted. He is a run-stopping outside linebacker. Not really the fastest at 87 speed. He doesn't really have a whole lot of moves either, with only 85 power and 70 finesse. So, he's not much of a pass rusher either. So, in his zone coverage, if you do click on it, we can again go see the zone coverage. It's really not much there either. So, he's not super flexible. We love those cards that come out, the 10 Hendricks type, that come out with the high-end rush, of his time. Hendricks is a little bit long in the tooth now. Hendricks similar zone, similar maybe 1 or 2 zone more than that, I don't remember. But now, coming out now with these stats, it's definitely not as impressive. I want a little bit more out of a player if I'm going to use him in a spot as a linebacker. Now, on Tuesday, obviously, linebackers are getting better, but this is not one that we really expect to get a whole lot better. Although run stopping action, it's field generals we're really kind of looking towards when that comes out. So I was hoping for a little bit more pass rush or zone coverage on that card to make it a little bit more interesting. Number 24 is Marcus Stroud, and then let's go the other defensive tackle, the thick boys in the middle, although Farr is not very exactly thick. We do like Stroud. It depends on how much you believe in weight. Weight doesn't really make a difference. I've tested it. I've looked at it on current gen. Next gen, it could make more of a difference, but current gen is how I'm ranking these guys. 73 speed at defensive tackle. Sadly, when you look at the power move, finesse move, you're like, wow, he's really kind of a one-trick pony. He's really only a run stuffer, which is, cooler at the beginning of the year. But now we got guys like J.J. Watt. And sure, Marcus Stroud's got, 20 pounds on J.J. But like I said, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. But, the speed is not there. And, say you get a shed. You want to be able to chase down the running back or the quarterback. And with only 73 speed, you're not chasing down anything except for blades of grass when you trip over your own feet. Because you're obviously uncoordinated in MUT right now to only be able to run 73 speed. And DeMarco Fair is a little bit faster at 82 speed with the block shed at 94. But he does have 98 finesse move, which is way better than what Stroud's putting out there. So his power move and finesse move can get both over 90. But you give it up a little to the block shed and to weight. But regardless, they're both pretty much not near the top of the meta. And a lot of cards here are going to be the best of the positions in the game, or top 3. So when cards are there, you're like, well, it's not really even top 3 of guys that you can play there. It's hard to rank them very high on the rankings. Next up is David Akers. This is about, I feel like as high as I can really make a kicker. He's the best kicker in the game, right? The highest kick power when you power him to 98. So it's hard to say, what? How important are kickers? It's kind of important when you need that final kick and you got to kick a 58-yarder and you really need that extra 1 or 2 kick power to hit it. Although 58-yarders should be kickable in a dome. I kicked one today with a 1-mile-per-hour wind against me. And then, Lorenzo Neal's a really, I would say, neat fullback. Neat. He's not super fast, though, right? 87 speed is solid right now. And with that solid speed, I don't really love him, right? He's got great lead block, impact block, run block. That stuff is basically maxed on out just about, especially when you power him up. Get, bounce low, I think helps that. Yeah, I just want more speed on him. I mean, that's all I got to say about Lorenzo Neal. Everything else looks very pretty about him. But, finding and targeting and finding a block and getting out there is the number one thing you need out of a running back, and that's why you want more speed than less. All right. Number 20 is Kyle Vandenbosch, and I guess I'll go with the other end friend, Mark Gastineau, that spot. So those two players, back-to-back, Vandenbosch and Gastineau. I put Gastineau above Vandenbosch now because he's got 3 more speed, and I do really like speed. You could put him at defensive tackle, of course. 99 finesse move, 92 power move are really nice. You can put pass rush on him, or run stuff to increase the block shit, or power move, whatever one you want, where it gets the run or the pass. So, but then Vandenbosch has got better block shed, though. So it really depends on what you're looking for. I think, personally, I would lean more towards Gastineau than Vandenbosch, like I have on my list. But, if you say the other one, I'm not going to, really that big of a fuss about it. Because maybe say, oh, I want 4 more block shed. Like, okay, cool. I'll take the guy that's a little bit faster and more balanced all around versus Kyle. Okay, number 18 on the list. We are going to go, this is a very controversial pick. Now, this might be a post-Tuesday pick. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, we're getting ability update changes on Tuesday. Yes, the world is changing around us. The time, I think Bob Dylan sang a song about us, about, the times they are changing. I think it was called, I don't know, the Hurricane. So, Chris Spielman, 90 speed, nothing there, but he's a middle linebacker, okay? 96 block shed, zone coverage, nothing. Basically, what I'm looking at is the field general archetype. Running around on Tuesday with 1 AP lurker and 1 AP enforcer. Throw a 2 AP deflator on him. Maybe you throw a few linebackers out there with lurker and see how your defense plays, because you are there. It's going to be a lot harder to run on you than with linebackers out there. Well, hopefully. I mean, safeties are pretty good against the run as it is, but I don't know. Maybe I'm overrating the changes that are coming on Tuesday. Maybe my hope is more than it should be, but that's why he's got a star next to him. He could easily go down because he's a middle linebacker, and maybe they just won't be useful, because why spend AP on something you don't need to spend AP on, since safeties jump regardless. It's just the enforcer that I'm kind of excited about. Although they did bring down the AP of enforcer on safeties, so maybe we'll just keep running safeties there because there's no separation. More Pavaro, number 17. So, Bavaro, what's going on with him? He is a tight end with a tight end. 89 speed, okay? Not top of the meta, not like his friend Julius, which we'll get to in a little bit. 89 speed at a skill position. You know, separation is caused by the ability to outrun somebody frequently. Not just cuts, but ability to get around him. So, Bavaro with that isn't really specialized, right? Corners and safeties that are manned up on him will run in faster and beat him. So you got to hope to beat it on break, basically. And if they have one step, it's going to be a little tougher. But Bavaro's saving grace is that 87 run block. You, if you want to be very degenerate, can come out with Mark Bavaro at wide receiver and just run the ball behind him with 87 run block, and he can hold against the cornerback pretty darn well. So, he could be a part of a pretty degenerate offense, and that's why I rated him so high on this list, even though his speed says, his degeneracy says, it's Madden. All right, so, next up on 16. Bulware, number 15, Haley. Another one of those combos that they're very close. They're very close to each other with their skill sets at outside linebacker. Pass rushers, Bulware, the 98 finesse move, 91 power move, 99 power move, 93 finesse move for Haley, with 93 block shed against 90 block shed. So, Bulware is one faster, but has less block shed. And Haley right there is, I guess, I don't know, I don't really believe in strength, but, none of my tests has shown that it means anything. So I'm not going to really include that much, but it's really the block shed purposes for Haley. And Haley does get his finesse move. Once you get, if you get pass rush all the way up, I have pass rush maxed out on my defense, then that's getting up near 99 with that power up. So he's basically a great pass rusher at that point with Charles Haley. So Charles Haley is also on the better theme team, right? Charles Haley gets the Niners. And the Niners are very popular. You can see the market loves them a lot more because they're giving them 200,000 coins more. So the market agrees with me that Charles Haley is better than Bulware. But if you want to argue with me, I'm not going to pitch a fight. Now, the next couple spots are, we're getting into like the DB territory. We're getting into the skill position territory. Because skill positions are, basically the positions that make you the money. Now, 5'9" is not great. But 95 speed means he's getting up to like 98-ish in that area. High-end man and zone, especially with lockdown chemistries, you're getting those into like 99s and that, especially with the power-up. So, Winfield looks great, but I prefer height in my secondary, which is why he isn't any higher. There's also guys with better attributes than him, which we'll come upon here soon. Number 13 will be Mike Minter. Mike Minter is a free safety with 94 speed. But 97 hit power, again, on the shorter side at 5'10". You really want that well over 6 foot in the 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" Isaiah Simmons category would be ideal. So, overall, man coverage maybe a little bit lower than you'd like to see, but it still does chem up well into the 90s once you get your full chems in there. 87 isn't anything really to write home about, though. You do want those as high as possible, man and zone. Zone with chemistry should be perfectly fine, though. So overall, Minter is a hard-hitting safety, but like a couple speed too slow, and that's why he's only number 13. Number 12, it is a quarterback, as I talked about DBs, but he kind of interrupts a little bit of our DB swing. Unitas here. Unitas is a field general, so gunslinger, hot route master for 5 AP, and he plays very well, right? The problem with Unitas, and you're going to see this on my second channel, I'm doing a lot of gameplays and reviews on these cards over my second channel, so take a look at those over the coming days. Unitas' problem is that there's so many quarterbacks out right now that have similar skill sets, right? If this guy would have came out, and you'll see me talk about this exact same thing in the second channel, a few months ago, right? Instead of Rich Gannon, say it was Johnny Unitas they brought to the game, right? How exciting would that have been to bring in a new legend, a guy that was so far ahead of the game, and it was just basically like broke the mold at his position, and it wasn't really repeated for a little bit. So Johnny Unitas, what if he would have been that only guy with hot route master and gunslinger for a couple months, right? That would have been memorable, right? Because Johnny Unitas is kind of like ahead of the meta. Instead of like Rich Gannon, who had a nice couple years, and that was fine, but Johnny U coming out a little bit later, it's a little bit rough for us because there's so many guys that can do what he does right now, and so he doesn't really stand out of the pack, which is why I'm at number 12. So overall, amazing name. I love that they brought him. Just wish it was a little earlier so he could stand out a little bit more in the game of MUT like he did in the game of life. Dunta Robinson right there at 11. So let's head right back to the page 2. Dunta is 97 speed, 94 man, 98 zone, 94 press, all that would be fine. Agility, now we're starting to look at like agility, change of direction-ish areas. So agility and change of direction are generally the exact same numbers. They're not showing it here that I see. 95. We got to go to upgrades for the actual change of direction. Why don't I see it? Am I? There it is, 93. 95, 93. So we're looking at, and with these cards now, we're looking at getting a little bit more into that portion of it. So it's kind of nice that they do have 97 speed, but a lot of these guys are coming up to 99 once you're hitting like 95, 96. But then we're starting to look at agility. So 5'10 also not super on the height side. Sean Spriggs right here. Springs, what did I say? I don't know. I said your mom. 97 speed, 6 foot, so he does start with a 6, which is nicer for the secondary. Still 95 agility. 92 man coverage is right around that minimum that you want for man, because you're going to need those boosts to get it to the high 90s. So overall, a solid card, though, with Springs. So he is number 10 on this team. Number 9 will be Grimy, as he prefers to be called. I believe him and the guy in The Simpsons. Brett Grimes, 96 speed, 5'10 again. 98 agility on this card here, which is definitely criminal, right? Way too criminal. Upgrades, 98 agility with 96 change of direction. Glorious. You probably will end up putting Sprinter on him too. You won't need to, obviously, on a theme team, but yeah, a great card right there for your squad. Julius Thomas at number 8 will be the tight end, and basically Julius Thomas, you can watch the gameplay on my second channel when that comes out. Thomas himself, 92 speed stock. I like his best comp is Shockey, right? 6'5 with 92 speed. I'd say Shockey is just like barely better than him. Obviously, if you have a Broncos theme team, Thomas is way better, but that's kind of my comp, right? Maybe Shockey's the one that you want over him, but I think Vernon Davis, having that one extra speed on him, a little shorter, is also a good argument there. So Thomas, top 3 at the position right there. You could throw in Darren Waller right there. Those 4 are kind of it at the position. So it's kind of crazy. One of the best at this position at a position. People throw their tight ends a lot, right? Tight end is one of the most used spots in mud, right? The guys will first read, will almost certainly be tight ends a good portion of the game. Myself, in the man coverage meta, I look at the tight end a ton because they don't get pressed. They can beat their man coverage, and obviously a lot of guys ended up going to one step ahead to help stop the tight end, man beating stuff. But overall, Julius Thomas ain't too bad. Ain't too bad at all at that position. I really did some good work with Julius when I worked with him this weekend. Number 7, we're going to get into some receivers here. So these two right here, David Boston, Dez Bryant, both physical archetypes, which is sad because they are insane cards. When you look at these cards and you look at their stats, like Dez Bryant's break tackle, 96 break tackle is just wild. 94 stiff arm, these after the catch attributes combined with, good run blocking, speed, all that is insane. But the problem is, this right here, he doesn't really get any of the best wide receiver chemistries that you want to use on your guys. Same thing with David Boston right here. 97 break tackle on the physical archetype. An 81 impact, 73 lead block. 73 run block. Lead block on both of them is really bad, which is kind of disappointing. But overall, Boston right here, Bryant right here, wow. Just wow. So yes, Dez will catch it. Boston, roided out. It's too bad he doesn't look as roided out on the mutt field as he did IRL, but holy crud. And the only receivers that I like better are going to be the guys with better archetypes. So we're going to look at Braylon Edwards at number 5, because he's the deep threat. So you get deep in and deep out elite, which I absolutely love. And then Sterling Sharpe here. Also really nice. So look at these cards. These ain't nothing to laugh at either. 96 speed for Braylon. Sterling, 96 speed also. Braylon right here, 93 break tackle, a little bit worse. But yeah, this is what it is. And obviously 96 speed is a little bit better too. Still really good run blockers. These are 3 down wide receivers. You don't have to worry. With Moss, you have to worry. You can't run behind Moss. Moss will get shedded. These guys, you just leave them out. They're phenomenal. I love them. Sterling right here too. Route runner archetype. This one's the best. 95 break tackle. Juke carrying. The reason I also hate Boston, because the first time I threw in the ball, the very first play, he fumbled for me. You know how few fumbles we get this year? I mean, look at how high his carrying is. It was like 98, yeah, 97 carrying. Par up to 98. And he fumbled. I was so salty. The very first ball he caught for me, he fumbled. So yeah, he got cut. One bad play, you're off the team, dude. When there's so many good cards coming out, if you don't stand out, you're gone. And these last three 100% stand out. Michael Turner, this guy's thick. A thick running back. Weight matters for running backs. I don't know if you guys can tell, especially next gen. Next gen, it's even more awful. But current gen, weight matters so much. 244. He really should have been like 246. But I think EA might have been afraid of air trucking. I think air trucking takes place at like 245 or 246. One of those two numbers. So they were afraid of him being able to air truck. But wow, 96 speed with break tackle. Trucking already there. Michael the Burner Turner. Kind of insane. Just don't spin with him. Juke. Don't spin. Number 2. I don't know what you guys think about this one. I'm going to go Darius Archer at number 2. Darius Archer is the best running back I've used this year. He's kind of wild. Darius Archer is absolutely insane. The best feel of any running back. Maybe I've like, I don't want to say ever. He also gets human joystick, which I haven't tried on him yet. Which maybe I should try in Wildcat or something. I got Wildcat in my Pittsburgh playbook. Maybe I should try it. But like, dude, powered up 99s basically across the board. Right? Absolutely awesome card. I love this card. Darius Archer. Plus he's super small. And you'll say, wait, I thought you didn't like small. Small for running backs can fit through holes, right? Stuff that like maybe bigger running backs would have a little bit bigger of a hitbox or something. Whereas like his small archetype makes it easy to fit through those holes. And then small guys also stop quicker. So if you do stop and goes, this guy, I don't know if you follow my TikTok at all, but I just put a clip of Darius Archer's first time he touched the ball. The stop and go was so sharp. It was insane. I love it. If you feel this Darius Archer on the field, it's something different. It's crazy how he feels on the joysticks, even without a human joystick. I'm going to try that out on Tuesday when the AP raises. I'll be throwing a human joystick on him. And then number 1 will be the best defensive back in the game right now. And I was really thinking about putting Darius number 1 because Darius is the best running back I've used in a hot minute. I really liked Jim Thorpe, but Darius Archer just feels a little bit better. Thorpe's got better fall forward ability, but Darius is insane. And then Eric Berry, right? Finish it off with this guy. He's basically 99s across the board for my non-theme team. Look at Eric Berry's attributes. You know, power up, add the sprinter, 99s. You know, he has top end man zone coverage too. Hit power. You can play him at any position on defense there and he'll succeed. Well, you know, in the secondary. Linebacker too. Yeah, this guy, he felt fast on the field too. 99 speed, of course he'll feel fast. So overall, that's my list. Let me know where you guys agree, disagree. And that's it for the video. Hope you guys liked it. Thanks for watching Call to Action. See you tomorrow.